So everything is now coming together like exponentially, acceleratingly very fast. And I know I'm smoking. Okay, I know this is like not a great example for those that think that smoking causes cancer. But I remember in the beginning when I first started the Jilly Juice, well, when I first was doing the holistic type of stuff, and I realized that smoking never caused cancer. It's those bodies at a deficit will trigger cancer regardless of stimulus in the environment. How do you say that to those that are at a deficit who were told by their doctor, stop smoking because you can't deal with the stimulation? It's all about what bodies are strong enough to handle the environment and what bodies are not. And when you're at a deficit, everything will trigger cancer. Everything. Because you don't have what it takes to deal with your environment or whatever it is that you choose to do to inhale. Not saying that I don't smoke pot or anything, but I do occasionally do a stimulating cigarette, which, okay, it has its own judgments and morals on it. But anyway, so I wanted to talk about monotheism and the Illuminati and pyramids, okay? The pyramids are an example of monotheism and polytheism, because monotheism is absolute power, corrupting absolutely. Polytheism is everything that's underneath the absolute power, that are like the demigods of our society. And they're all over politics, religion, and science. And so I figured out with all of Maslow's ladder of baser instincts and then self-actualization, which is the psychological way of explaining the Illuminati and monotheism, polytheism. It shows that those that are not very evolved or enlightened or have enough education to understand the full scope of society, they're at the bottom of the ladder. And those that are reaching certain levels of enlightenment are somewhere in the middle. And then when you're totally enlightened, you're at the top of the pyramid, then you become a god. So first you become a demigod, and then you graduate to like the god at the top of the ladder. So anyways, so then I figured out my introduction, which is I reduced all my claims and research under one thesis statement. Humans can live 300 years or more, potentially indefinitely, in a relatively stable environment supporting biodiversity regardless of the sexual orientation of their current parents and biological parents. They can also regrow limbs and organs even if they're born without them, so as long as they have access to all food and water. So this has nothing to do with transhumanism. Absolutely not. This is everything to do with the fact that that as long as you have food and water and shelter and all the things that a human needs to live on, and you understand pain, viruses, and all that stuff, you can live indefinitely. But I will explain that in the rest of the book. But this is like my thesis statement, what I'm introducing in my introduction. And so that's when I'm then breaking down religion, breaking down polytheism and monotheism. And so monotheism and polytheism are the pyramid of the Freemasons, Illuminati, and the Catholic Church, and all the different monotheistic gods in the Semitic religions and the polytheistical religions, okay? And so paganism is also polytheistical, all right? It's worshiping nature, and nature has all the different gods, because then you have like Ishtar, and you have the god of death or night, or the god of darkness or whatever. That's Halloween. So now we're really seeing what the pyramid is really for and what it means. And so you can see then the merging of the Freemasons and the Catholic Church, and that's why they work together, because it is a tag team type of dualistic rule of control, which is about deifying with the demigods in the middle of the pyramid, and then edification through academia, through whatever moral and ethical standards they want to put out there for whatever world that they are creating and essentially putting together. So then to piggyback on what I said, because I'm really just getting into this, okay? hold on. To be clear, I am not inferencing any transhumanism using machinery and operations to prolong someone's life relative to their expectations. So the fact that humans can potentially live indefinitely has nothing to do with transhumanism, nothing to do with operations and nipping and tucking or cryogenically freezing somebody, okay? To be clear, I'm not inferencing any transhumanism using machinery and operations to prolong someone's life relative to their expectations. I am talking about evolution and adaptation without using cryogenics or dying and becoming reborn through biotechnology, through clones or implants or transplants. I am talking about the same human born will stay youthful and vital, productive without modern medicine, only food matching the viral environmental programming. And then, of course, triage through modern medicine for out-of-control accidental dismemberment is necessary. Humans will deal with regrowing and regenerating from any accident after they have been triaged. The eventual outcome of the human who experiences an accident is healed 100% will be as if the human never experienced an accident. And so that's the whole point of the JJ mentality. And I knew the claims that I made on Dr. Phil, even though I couldn't prove them, it was possible. But then now I'm finally substantiating through politics, religion, and science, definitely through science, but I'm also proving how the monotheistic and polytheistic religions of paganism and one true God type of belief system has also geared society into believing they should die someday, that will be their eventual outcome. And that is a worship of the demigods in between the bottom of the pyramid and the top of the pyramid. And so the Freemasons are the ones that know this information, that they don't know immortality. They only know it through bioengineering, through the Greek system. The Greek system is all about caste system, classifying people through biogenetics, through nipping and tucking. And so you can't hold your genetics against yourself, because this was something that was given to you, and then you were cured in a state of whatever station in life that you're in. And so when people are unhappy with the station of their life and they commit crimes or they get lost in drugs, alcohol, and a lot of sex, because they're fighting against something that was given to them that they know they can do way more than they were told. And so when your genetics stops you from rising above your station, people get pissed. They get so pissed they try to find someone to blame. Okay? Now you have the opportunity to rise above your station. Like, you have all the opportunity to rise above your station. Those that were born into a higher station, but they got the distribution of genetics was not equal within their family, and they couldn't rise above other people in their family, then they were like the black sheep, and they go off and try to do what they try to do stuff that's appropriate for their family, but they can never measure up. And so the family then gives up on them and thinks that they're the black sheep and all that stuff. So, but you can rise above your station, whatever it is. You can figure out how to be not only successful, but very healthy, make connections, learn how to write, read, and articulate your thoughts and ideas to innovate. Okay, so yeah, I'm putting this all together. So I'm writing my introduction, and then I have pretty much all the meat of the book. It's now putting it together. So, but you must understand about the Illuminati. The Illuminati are the pyramid of monotheistic and polytheistic controls. And again, the Greek system, the Hindu system of the caste system, bioengineering, has kept people in a very stagnated state. And so they only can rise to the level of what their genetics will allow them, as well as what they are taught in their area. Like here in Ohio, I'm in an area where, yeah, we have Ohio State. Hey, sugar. We have Kent State. And people go there and they get their degrees, and they go into different places around here, or they go somewhere else. But for the most part, I mean, here we don't have a lot of Ivy League colleges. You really have to go away to other schools. In California, there's so many high-level colleges in California. In the East Coast, so many Ivy League colleges. So most people don't rise above their station. Most people do not rise above their station because genetically, all the cures have stopped them. You can't evolve to the level of your environment to like the COVID-19 because you're taking a vector. You're not allowing your body to get to the next level of awareness, of enlightenment. And then you're also blocking genetic evolution because you can't handle a virus. And so the only way they could save your life is through a vector or vaccine. It actually stops your evolution. And then you're so happy to be in your little tiny cured state of existence, maybe making a little bit of money, whatever bones the system throws to you because you've invested something that maybe you got lucky or that you were cued by someone that you know through connections. But you know what happens. I mean, look at Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She lived to be 89. She actually was successful, but the end of the line is sooner than most. Okay, especially in this environment. And so that's why I'm saying release all religion. There's nothing to worship. There's nothing to look down upon. You have every opportunity to tap into indefinite life. I mean, you have the power of the virus to evolve you. You realize that evolution is free? That's what you don't realize, that evolution and intelligence is free. Evolution, as long as you can keep yourself, on a stable equilibrium. If you can pay your bills and maintain a roof over your head and food on the table, evolution is free. All you got to do is just go outside. Don't wear a mask. And then when you feel the symptoms, you feed the symptoms with food, all the food in the food supply. And then you got to deal with feeling the electricity, the pain of electricity. But that's all for free. You don't really have to pay for that. What people are paying for is to devolve. They're paying to destroy themselves. They're paying to be, to not evolve. That's the conundrum of the medical system, is that you're paying those in biotech who specialize in the vaccinations so you don't want to evolve. You're paying someone to devolve you. That is the craziness. And even those that don't take the vaccine and don't understand evolution, don't understand pain and symptoms, they are still going to get the short end of the stick because they don't understand evolution. They don't understand pain. So what will they do? They'll go to the nearest drugstore and get the over-the-counter medications. They'll go get their herbal remedies. They'll go find all the things that are, over-the-counter or concoctions that are very antibiotic, and they'll stop their own evolution at the microbial level because they'll ingest it or inhale it. It'll destroy their gut bacteria, destroy the messaging system in their gut. Or they get a vaccine and program their own body to not evolve. And so that's why you don't see a lot of evolutionary people out there that can handle new information. They can't even handle their damn environment. They have to go get a vaccine for it. Yeah, they're in a cured state, happily doing whatever they're doing, being programmed by the system. Because, if you're in a cured state, you'll take on certain programming that's relative to what's being put out there in the classes in Ivy League universities and other universities. But the person has a lifespan. And then all the information that they have taken on through academia and through whatever is being given to them through different courses will only last so long. And then the next generation doesn't learn anything really except for whatever you know up to a certain point and whatever the system is willing to divulge to you. And then you're overwhelmed by all the amount of information that's out there. And so that's why we don't really have an accelerating evolution in our society. That's why we have 7 billion people who are going crazy from this virus because they were never taught how to deal with it. And so that's why you have cancer, disease, chronic illness, autoimmune disorders, and aging. And paying someone to stop your evolution, whether it's through a vaccine or through an operation or through pills, powder supplements, and detoxes, and herbal remedies. And so, the de-evolution is big business. And that is the whole point of that pyramid. Most people are below the bottom half. They haven't figured out how to really understand penetrating the other compartmentalized areas. They're only stuck in one little tiny area. And so they'll never get to a point of actual enlightenment because they've programmed their body not to be enlightened. They've fallen into the binary-driven arguments of for and against. two sides of the same coin. They don't understand salt. They don't understand food. They don't understand viruses. You know, they're stuck in the whole succubus and incubus mentalities of just taking other people's energy, but not really giving back. They get stuck in all the distractions of everything, which I get, I understand, because you want to be, everyone around you is doing the same thing. If everyone around you was jumping off a cliff, would you jump off a cliff? So, you know, the JJ mentality is extraordinary if you allow it to happen. Okay? It is extraordinary if you allow it to happen. And it's not easy, it's not for everybody. But again, the whole thing with the pyramid is it is monotheistic and it's polytheistic. It is Greek, it's all the Greek system with the Judeo-Christian background. And then you have, the Hindu caste system. You have the Chinese polytheistical system, you know, Confucius. And you have Japanese Shintoism, Taoism. All the same thing, Buddha. It's like monotheistic. Polytheistic too, maybe. But all the polytheism and monotheism is about worshiping one God, many gods, and then putting people in a very specific class, a hormonal class. And then you're bioengineered for it. Here in Ohio, people are bioengineered to do hard labor. That's why people's bodies here are so much thicker. They can handle the environment much better than someone from California who lives in sunshine, or even Florida, who lives in sunshine, not too much harsh weather. And so they capitalize on the brain. So the body starts atrophying. And you can see that. People weigh next to nothing in California. The guys that are bigger because they're doing hard labor. The guys that are puny, you know, they're gamers or they're geeks or nerds working, you know, like Bill Gates. He weighs next to nothing, puny, but he doesn't have to be built like a brick shit house because he doesn't do any hard labor. He pays someone to do hard labor. But the two coasts really put the emphasis on the brain, and so they let the body deplete. Here in Middle America, they put more emphasis on the body. I'm not saying that people are not smart in the head, but they're not evolving to the level of the two coasts. Okay, because there's a reason why. It's economic. And I realized that coming from California to Ohio. And so it's such a trip. So now I've had the Ohio body, for the most part, built like a brick shit house, with the brain of California, the two coasts, so I could survive whatever the Illuminati, the enlightened ones, have in store for us as far as leveling the playing field. If you can't understand both sides of the coasts, you don't understand how to be built like a brick shit house and understand evolution and viruses. If you can't, and you're stuck in the two coasts of biotech, how are you going to survive a very aggressive environment? How the hell are you going to survive? All the money you're making off the stock market because of whatever IPO that you're investing in. Yeah, you might make it big, maybe, but how long will you be able to enjoy it? How many boosters are you going to take against evolution? You know, people are taking vaccines and taking boosters all day long, and you still can't stop evolution. That's why there's breakthrough infection. Oh, but we have another vaccine that is even more deadly against evolution. And so puts you in such a cured state, really causing the body to program itself against itself. I'm not saying vaccines are deadly, but they're stopping you from evolving. And they're still bringing up energy that you still have to then use resources to bring it up to create the antagonist antibodies to then attack any new incoming evolution. You still got to utilize your immune system regardless of the intention. It's still energy that you have to use. Some people don't have the energy to use that. So I don't know how people who are in the vaccine industry and are investing in it think that it's really any good for humanity, especially for those that want to evolve, that want to live for a long time. Not in this dynamic environment. You've got to feed the viruses. You got to feed the body. I get the premise behind vaccines, but I'm telling you, not everybody is going to be strong enough to even bring up those antibodies. So they say, oh yeah, we have a lower dose for this for a kid, a lower dose for an older person. But it's still a crapshoot. Why gamble? Why play Russian roulette? Why not have a sure thing and eat food and deal with pain? Release. What's wrong with your immune system? What's wrong with releasing? What's wrong with tapping into the things that you're not used to tapping into, like coughing, sneezing? Hi, sugar. Okay, so the pyramid is exactly what it's meant for. It's meant for a polytheistical, monotheistical control. And it is through, it's deifying through edification, bringing up people to a moral and intellectual standard, but not everybody is going to be rising up to those levels. If anything, they will destroy the levels of ethics and standards because they can't handle a new virus regardless if they're vaxxed or not. They just can't handle it. So, I don't know. Interesting. Thanks. Bye.